All right, what is going on, guys? This past weekend was UFC Noche, Lopes versus Silva, and this is going to be the fights to make after the event. Starting off with the main event winner, Diego Lopes gets it done over Jean Silva in the second round via TKO. He's kind of in a weird position. You have Lerone Murphy, who's more than likely going to be fighting Volkanovski for the belt next. You have Movsar, who kind of already deserves it, but due to him pulling out of some fights, probably isn't going to get it and probably needs at least one more fight to get the next title shot. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Lopes, he's going to need a couple of things. At least one more win, and Movsar and Murphy have already had their shot. Because I have them above him on the list of who deserves the title shot more. So what I thought, looking at the rankings, let's do Diego Lopes versus Aljamain Sterling, and maybe a number one contender fight-ish in a way, because I know the UFC, they're not going to give Movsar his title shot. They're going to make him fight somebody else, and he's injured. You know, he pulled out of his fight with Pico, and Murphy stepped up, got that amazing finish. That probably gets him the title shot. In the meantime, you could do Aljo Lopes like the end of this year, December, January. And then by that time, you know, give Movsar an opponent. Essentially, whoever can get ready for a title shot first gets it. To make things even better, you could have a situation potentially where they both, you know, the winner of this fight and the winner of the Movsar, whoever he fights, fight. You could have them fight for the belt, and how you would do that is if Volkanovski wins versus Lerone Murphy, or even if he loses, honestly, he needs to retire. I really think he does, especially if he wins. If he wins over Lerone Murphy, I really think he needs to retire on top. He would at that point would have proven he's beaten Lopes. Lopes has beaten another great up and comer in Jean Silva, and he would have beaten Lerone Murphy, another up and coming contender. He's proven what he needs to prove. He needs to get out while he can, on top. Will he do that? I don't know. But in this hypothetical situation, you could have the winner of Aljo Lopes versus the winner of Movsar, whoever he may fight, to fight for the undisputed featherweight title. Moving on, main event loser Jean Silva, absolute pouty bitch, loses. Good, he lost. Kind of looking at the rankings, looking at who needs a little bit stepped up in competition, and I came up with Steve Garcia. Garcia is ranked, I think, a couple spots below Jean Silva. Honestly, I could see that the UFC, sometimes they just adjust people. I could see them making Garcia higher than Jean Silva in the rankings. Oh shit, I'm tired. But nonetheless, I think this is a great fight. Garcia is very good, very solid opposition for Jean Silva to come back. He's going to have to take some time off. He took a lot of damage in that Lopes fight. Garcia, I think he's already fought 2 times this year. So, you know, early next year would probably be fine for Steve Garcia. And especially with the eyeballs that Jean Silva brings to the fight. And if it'd be a step up in rankings, I'm sure Garcia wouldn't mind waiting. And this would be a good fight. I think Garcia is a very well-rounded opponent for Jean Silva. That'd be a very close competitive fight. Moving on. David Martinez gets it done over Rob Font in the co-main event to catapult himself into the bantamweight rankings. This is essentially what they wanted to do with Raul Rosas Jr. They wanted to get him in the rankings. Rob Font was the easiest path to get him in the rankings with the highest rank. But he pulled out due to injury, and David Martinez stepped up to the plate, got it done via decision over Rob Font. Solid win for David Martinez in his second fight in the UFC. He should now, in theory, assuming they don't screw up the rankings, be a top 10 ranked bantamweight. But honestly, I don't think he's ready. I really don't. I think I looked at the top of the rankings. I couldn't see an opponent I'm like very confident that he would win against. So what I did was I gave him somebody lower in the rankings than he is, but is on the come up and looking to prove himself, looking to climb the rankings, and that is Vinicius Oliveira. I think it's a very good matchup. I think it's a very fun fight. Both of them in fun, exciting fights. Oliveira just marching people down, walking them down, marching forward, just throwing caution to the wind and swinging and going for it. This should be a really good fight. And I think he could potentially break David Martinez with that pressure. Just like I thought Rob Font was going to, but apparently doesn't have it in him anymore. I think Oliveira would do that. Moving on, Rob Font, loser of the co-main event. I hate to do this to him, but I'm just going to rebook the Raul Rosas Jr. fight. He lost, okay? He definitely has to defend his position now. Before that, I was of the opinion he already beat 2 up-and-coming prospects. He needs his shot at someone higher in the rankings. Obviously, they didn't give that to him. They essentially, the UFC fumbled this so badly. They could have given their boy Sean O'Malley, I don't want to say a free win, but at least a name value win and an easier fight than anybody else in the top 5. I know he wasn't ranked top 5, in the top 10. Okay? Now, who knows who Sean O'Malley's going to fight next. But Rob Font was on a winning streak, on a 2-fight winning streak, against up-and-coming contenders, turning them back, and it would have been a decent name value win for Sean O'Malley, but they didn't do that. So now he has to defend his position again against a young up-and-coming contender in Raul Rosas Jr. You know, he's got that rib injury, let him heal. Rob Font just went through a 3-round fight, took some damage, so he's going to need some time off. So, you know, early next year, I could see them rebooking this fight, and I would definitely be picking Raul Rosas Jr. now. Beforehand, I was probably going with Rob Font, but seeing how he fought in that fight, you know, styles make fights, I understand. Can he step the takedowns of Raul Rosas Jr.? Can he put the pressure on him? I think there's a universe where Rob Font could beat Raul Rosas Jr., but he's going to have to do a lot of work and be very, very strict in that fight. Moving on, Kelvin Gastelum gets it done over Dustin Stolfus in a very competitive but decisive decision. We're going to give him Kyle Daukaus. Daukaus, back in the UFC, gets a first-round KO over Michel Pereira. Very solid win from Daukaus. And he kind of got a lot of hype for himself getting that first-round KO over Pereira. So for Gastelum, you know, if he can still make 185, I think you do, you know, him versus Daukaus, and this kind of puts both of them, especially Daukaus, you know, he wants to come back, or he came back, he wants to prove himself, he got that KO, was it a fluke, was it not? I think a Kelvin Gastelum test would be a very good test for Kyle Daukaus. I don't believe he's fought him before. And for Gastelum, you know, he claims he still wants to be champion, although that's very unlikely. I don't think that's going to happen. This would be a very solid opponent to come back against after that very competitive fight with Dustin Stolfus. Moving on, Rafa Garcia gets it done over Jared Gordon, gets the 3rd round KO. I'm going with Joaquim Silva. Reason being, they were on the same card. They both, Silva went through a 3-round fight. Garcia almost went through a full 3 rounds. So they both taken quite a bit of wear and tear. They need some time to recover. They should be relatively on the same return schedule. So I think this would be a great fight in the low weight division. Just match them up together. They were on the same card. Easy matchup right there. Moving on, Alexander Hernandez. I think you know who I'm picking. I like his call out of Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler in the lightweight division. He's still ranked somehow. I know they said Hernandez is on like a 5-fight lightweight win streak. I'm pretty sure, which I'm going to look it up now, I'm pretty sure that he's not on a 5-fight win streak, which I was confused about. I thought he was on a 5-fight win streak when they put that up. Let's look it up real quick. Alexander Hernandez, and he changed his name, of course, for that Noche fight. Let's see. Is he on a 5-fight win streak? He's on a 4-fight win streak currently. I don't see how he's... Because, okay. So he fought Jim Miller. Then I believe he fought Bill Algeo and Damon Jackson at featherweight. Then he came back to lightweight. Beat Austin Hubbard, Kurt Holobar, Chase Hooper, Diego Fajeda. At least the last 2 wins are solid. Kurt Holobar, that's a decent win. And then Austin Hubbard, But he's getting finishes in his last 2 fights. Although he was losing the Diego Fajeda fight, I still think him versus Michael Chandler would be a very fun fight. You could put that on a pay-per-view, like opening up the pay-per-view. They both kind of have this explosive style. And I would probably pick Michael Chandler to win that fight. But nonetheless, it's going to be a fun, exciting fight. Chandler, I can't even remember how many fights he's lost recently. But this would be a fun one. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think of my matchups? Do you have any matchups you would make differently? Let me know down below. Make sure to drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.